Meet Bob. For years, his mornings were all the same. A deep, groggy feeling he couldn't shake, and a frustrating stiffness in his joints that made getting out of bed feel like a monumental task. He'd swing his legs over the side of the bed, plant his feet on the floor, and just pause for a moment, bracing for the aches and groans that came with standing up. He figured this was just a normal, unavoidable part of getting older, an unwelcome companion for the ride. But what if I told you that by discovering 7 simple, almost effortless morning habits, Bob now starts his day with more energy than he's had in years? That grogginess has been replaced by genuine alertness, and the stiffness has eased into a flexibility he thought he'd lost for good. This isn't a story about some miracle cure or a grueling new workout plan. It's about small, smart choices you make in the first hour of your day that can totally reprogram your body for vitality. Stick with me, because I'm going to share those exact 7 science-backed habits with you. Think of them as the tiny hinges that swing open huge doors to a more energetic, vibrant, and joyful life after 60. The very first habit that kick-started Bob's transformation wasn't something but something his alarm clock. Now, I know this sounds way too simple to work, but waking up at the same time every single day, yep, even on weekends, is the foundation for every other energy-boosting habit. Bob used to sleep in on Saturdays and Sundays, falling for the common myth that he was catching up on sleep. But this popular belief is a trap that actually disrupts your body's natural rhythm. But that unpredictable schedule was just confusing his internal body clock, the circadian rhythm. This rhythm is like your body's master conductor, telling it when to feel sleepy and when to feel alert. When your schedule is all over the place, the conductor gets confused, and the whole orchestra of your hormones and body functions plays out of tune. The result? You feel jet-lagged, even when you haven't gone anywhere. You wake up feeling groggy, disoriented, and definitely not rested. Experts agree that a consistent sleep schedule is key to wellness and energy. This becomes even more crucial as we get older, as our sleep patterns can naturally become lighter. By setting a regular wake-up time, you train your body to anticipate the start of the day. This helps get key hormones in sync, like melatonin, which makes you sleepy, and cortisol, which helps you wake up feeling alert. When they're working together, your sleep gets deeper and your mornings get brighter. For Bob, this was habit number 1. He set his alarm for 7 a.m. every single day. The first few days were a battle, especially on Saturday when his body begged for that extra hour, but he stuck with it. Within about a week, something amazing happened. He started waking up a few minutes the alarm, feeling rested and ready. His body had learned the new rhythm. He no longer felt like he was being dragged out of a deep fog. This one simple act of consistency gave him a powerful lesson. A predictable routine creates stability, which in turn calms the low-level chronic stress that so quietly drains our precious energy reserves. Before Bob's feet even hit the floor, he started his next habit. On his nightstand, where his alarm clock used to sit all alone, he now placed a tall glass of water. Before checking his phone, before thinking about his to-do list, he would sit up, grab that glass, and drink all of it. This might seem small, but it's a huge deal for your energy levels. After sleeping for 6 to 8 hours, your body is naturally dehydrated. That dehydration, even if it's mild, is a major reason for morning fatigue, brain fog, and even muscle stiffness. It can even trigger morning headaches, as your brain tissue can temporarily shrink from a lack of fluid. Research shows that many older adults are chronically underhydrated. This is partly because our natural sense of thirst, the body's built-in alarm system, can become less sensitive as we age, so you might not even feel thirsty, but your body is desperately begging for water. Without it, your circulation slows down, less oxygen gets to your brain and muscles, and you feel sluggish before the day even really starts. Starting your day with a glass of water basically tells your body it's time to restart. You're helping to flush out toxins, kickstart your metabolism, and crucially, rehydrate your brain and joints. This simple act lubricates your joints, easing that morning stiffness. Think of it like watering a plant that's been in the dark all night. That first drink helps it perk up, ready for the sun. Bob made this his non-negotiable second step. He put the glass of water there the night before, making it super easy to stick with the habit. At first, it just felt like drinking water. But after a few days, he noticed he felt less creaky when he stood up. The cobwebs in his mind cleared a little faster. Sometimes he'd add a squeeze of lemon, not for any magic reason, but just because he liked the taste, and that made the habit more enjoyable. It was like flipping a switch, telling every cell in his body, okay, time to wake up and get to work. After his glass of water, Bob did something he hadn't done in years. Instead of flipping on the TV or scrolling through the news on his phone, he walked over to the window, pulled back the curtains, and just took in the morning light for a few minutes. On nice days, he'd even step out onto his porch for about 10 minutes. This habit is wired directly into our biology. Getting natural light first thing in the morning is one of the most powerful signals you can send your brain to say, "The day has started." Morning sunlight tells your brain to stop producing melatonin, the sleep hormone, and ramp up cortisol, the get-up-and-go hormone. This process is critical for locking in your circadian rhythm, which not only helps you feel energized during the day, but also helps you fall asleep easier at night. Researchers have found that seniors who get sunlight within the first hour of waking have a lower risk of developing serious sleep issues and are less likely to deal with depression. And it doesn't have to be bright, direct sunshine. Even on a cloudy day, the natural light outside is way more powerful than any light bulb in your house. For Bob, this became a moment of quiet reflection. He traded the harsh blue glow of his phone for the full-spectrum light of the sun. He noticed the effect almost right away. It wasn't a jolt like caffeine, but more of a gentle, steady awakening. His mood felt lighter. This simple, free, and genuinely pleasant habit helped him feel more connected to the world and less like he was in a race against time from the moment he woke up. With his mind clearer and his body hydrated, Bob was ready for habit number 4, gentle movement. Before, the idea of a morning workout felt like climbing a mountain. We often think it's all or nothing, but this isn't about that. This is about gently waking up your muscles and joints, a little act of kindness to a body that's been still all night. Many of us wake up with stiffness, aches, and maybe feel a little unsteady. That's often because circulation slows down overnight and our muscles tighten up. Gentle movement is the perfect fix. It gets the blood flowing, delivering fresh oxygen to your muscles and brain. It lubricates your joints, easing that morning stiffness and improving your range of motion. Studies have shown that just 5 to 10 minutes of light stretching before breakfast can make a big difference in long-term joint health. Bob started incredibly small, right in his bedroom. He'd do a few gentle neck rolls to ease tension, then some shoulder rolls to open up his chest. He'd follow that with some seated spinal twists to wake up his back, and maybe some marching in place to get the blood flowing to his legs. He found a few 5-minute guided stretching routines for seniors online and just followed along. There was no pressure, no pain. The rule was simple: move in a way that feels good. This wasn't about pushing limits, it was about gently rediscovering them. Within a week, that feeling of dread he used to have before standing up was gone. The morning aches started to fade. Simple things, like bending down to tie his shoes or reaching for something on a high shelf, felt noticeably easier. He was moving with more confidence. This little routine, no more than 10 minutes, sent a new message to his body. We are not stiff and old, we are flexible and ready for the day. We're just over halfway through, and I hope you're already feeling a little inspired. Bob's journey shows that tiny, consistent actions can lead to huge changes. If this is making sense to you, do me a favor and hit that like button. And I've got a question for you. Which of these habits so far seems like the easiest one to try tomorrow? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see what you're thinking. Okay, let's get back to the final 3 habits. After his gentle movement, Bob was ready for habit number 5, and it's a big one: fueling his body with the right kind of breakfast. For years, Bob's breakfast was an afterthought, a piece of toast with jam or a sugary cereal. Those choices sent his blood sugar on a roller coaster, giving him a quick burst of energy followed by a hard crash an hour or 2 later. For seniors, a protein-rich breakfast is a real game changer for sustained energy. Protein helps to stabilize blood sugar, preventing those nasty energy spikes and crashes. It also helps you feel full longer, cutting down the urge to snack. Most importantly, as we get older, we naturally lose muscle mass in a process called sarcopenia. Getting enough protein, especially in the morning, is vital to fight this muscle loss and maintain our strength. Many experts suggest aiming for about 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast to really maximize muscle health. That might sound like a lot, but it's easier than you think. Bob swapped his toast for 2 scrambled eggs with a side of avocado. On other days, he'd have a bowl of protein-packed Greek yogurt with berries and a handful of nuts. Other great options are oatmeal made with milk and mixed with seeds, a bowl of cottage cheese with fruit, or a smoothie with a scoop of protein powder. The change for Bob was dramatic. That mid-morning slump completely vanished. He felt satisfied, focused, and his energy stayed steady all the way to lunch. his body finally had the high-quality fuel it needed to run efficiently. He learned his breakfast wasn't just a meal, it was his energy strategy for the whole day. With his body hydrated, stretched, and fueled, Bob turned to his mind. The sixth habit is to do a brief, stimulating mental activity. Just like our bodies can feel stiff, our minds can feel foggy in the morning. A lot of people default to passively watching the news or scrolling social media, but that doesn't really warm up your brain. Doing a simple brain exercise first thing can sharpen your mental clarity and improve focus. Think of it as a gentle warm-up for your cognitive muscles. The activity doesn't have to be difficult, but it should require you to actively think. Bob found a few activities he enjoyed and rotated them. Some mornings he'd spend 15 minutes on a crossword or a Sudoku puzzle. On other days he'd take out a journal. Sometimes he'd write down 3 things he was grateful for, a practice that's been shown to reduce stress and improve your mood. Other times he'd just write about whatever was on his mind, which helped organize his thoughts. Other great options include reading a few pages from a book, learning a new word in a different language with an app, or even playing a game of chess online. For Bob, this mental warm-up became a treasured part of his morning. It replaced his old anxiety about the day ahead with a sense of calm focus. He felt sharper, more alert, and ready to handle whatever came his way. The final habit that tied everything together for Bob was the simplest, but maybe the most powerful. Before he left his quiet morning space, he would take a moment to plan just one meaningful thing for the day. After retirement, it's easy for days to become unstructured, which can sometimes lead to a feeling of aimlessness. This can be a quiet drain on our emotional energy. Creating a sense of purpose, even a small one, gives you motivation and a positive focus for the day. It shifts your mindset from, how will I get through today, to what will I enjoy today? This doesn't have to be some huge undertaking. It's about setting a small, achievable intention that brings you joy or satisfaction. For Bob, some days his one thing was to call his daughter just to chat. On other days, it was to spend an hour in his garden or listen to a whole album without any distractions. Sometimes it was trying a new recipe for dinner. He'd write it down on a notepad on his kitchen counter. This simple act created a focal point for his day. It gave him something to look forward to and a sense of accomplishment when he did it. It helped him run his day instead of letting the day run him. This was the final piece of the puzzle that turned his mornings from a groggy chore into a launchpad for a purposeful, energetic day. All right, let's pull it all together. The 7 habits that transformed Bob's mornings were: 1. Wake up at a consistent time to sync your body's internal clock. 2. Start with hydration to re-energize your body and clear away brain fog. 3. Embrace morning light to tell your brain it's time to be alert. 4. Engage in gentle movement to wake up your muscles and ease stiffness. 5. Eat a protein-rich breakfast for stable, long-lasting energy. 6. Do a brain-stimulating activity to sharpen your mind. 7. Plan one meaningful thing to create purpose and motivation for your day. Bob's story is a fantastic reminder that we have so much more control over our energy than we think. He used to believe that feeling tired and stiff was just his new normal. But by stacking these simple, science-backed habits, he discovered he could not only get his mornings back, but fill his entire day with more energy and joy. You don't have to do all 7 at once. Be like Bob, start with just 1 or 2. Maybe it's the glass of water by your bed or just opening the curtains to the morning sun. Be patient with yourself. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Every small step you take is an investment in a healthier, more vibrant you. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on aging well. And for my final question, which of these 7 habits are you most excited to try tomorrow? Share it in the comments below. Your journey to more energetic mornings starts right now.